Guys, alright, what is going on? This is the Club of the Man 1993 coming at you again for another review for WWE. Of course, I can't say live because this is not live as I am recording again due to me being unable to go live due to not good internet connections right now in my location on my vacation. But as I said, I will be uploading my reviews whenever I'm able to this week. And then next week's, again, I said Raw and SmackDown reviews will be taken care of once I return home. So this is my NXT review for this week's episode of NXT. The April 20, get my days mixed up here, 25th edition of NXT, which we're on the road now towards NXT TakeOver Chicago 2, which is going to be shown to be a pretty good show, also the way it is. And I thought we had a pretty good episode of NXT this week as well, starting to steer us towards the direction. We got some more answers from the fallout from the Undisputed Era's actions at NXT TakeOver New Orleans, with Roderick Strong turning heel on Pete Dunne and joining the Undisputed Era. We also had a lot of vignettes for a lot of different women's wrestlers, since I've mentioned before how the women's division in NXT is starting to go through another rebuilding stage again, with the likes of Asuka, the Iconic Duo, and I believe, well, that's probably it, but with a lot of, the more qualified, and Ember Moon. How can I forget about Ember Moon? The more, built up women's wrestlers moving on to the main roster. Now the spotlight is being focused on the likes of Shayna Baszler, Kairi Sane, Lacey Evans, Dakota Kai, Aaliyah, several others who we saw mentioned in the vignettes in the show. So definitely, it was a good show to definitely advertise them as well. So let's get right into it. As we started off, of course, with the Undisputed Era coming out, just of course bragging about how all the gold around their waist is how they're pretty much are unstoppable and whatnot. And then Roderick Strong pretty much just went on to explain his actions of what happened. He had an epiphany at NXT TakeOver New Orleans a couple weeks ago, when he realized that Pete Dunne was only in there because he only cared about his United States Championship more than anything else. So Roderick Strong would say, he made a career decision rather than having to be Roddy versus the world as always. Why not fight together with the ones that always have each other's backs in the Undisputed Era, and join them, and that way he'll definitely take off in his career pretty much. So that's why he joined there. And then of course Adam Cole was just bragging about how great the Undisputed Era is, which they are awesome. And he was stating how he's had a match coming up, the first title defense for the debuting NXT North American Championship. It was going to be against Oney Lorcan. And he says, but I would like you guys just to go into the back, because I can do this all by myself. I don't need help to defeat Oney Lorcan. So Oney Lorcan came out and we had a match. Adam Cole and Oney Lorcan. Again, I think Oney Lorcan I see Cesaro in him. Not just by the look, but just the wrestling style as well. Like just the Boston Brawler, Boston Bruiser, heck they call him. Put on a great show against Adam Cole. Definitely pushed him to his limit. Of course, the turning point in his match came when Adam Cole was out on the sideline. It looked like he was kind of beat up still, because from the effects from the Wrestling 2 matches at TakeOver New Orleans, with the ladder match, and for the NXT tag titles getting slammed through a table by one of the Authors of Pain. And then the Undisputed Era's Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong came out, and Kyle O'Reilly was acting like he put up the X, saying Cole's really hurt just being there for him. But when the referees weren't looking, Roderick Strong struck and hit a back breaker on Oney Lorcan onto the apron, and he pushed him in there. So when Adam Cole saw that, he got up and hit the last shot, the knee shot to the back of the head of Oney Lorcan to pick up the victory. And afterwards, Undisputed Era starts to attack Oney Lorcan, and then Lorcan's more recent tag team partner Danny Burch comes out to try to save him. Unfortunately, Undisputed Era gets on top of them as well. So as questions keep saying, who will stop the Undisputed Era eventually on the time down the line? I think it's either going to be TM61 or the Street Profits. Could be Heavy Machinery for all I know, but I'd say the Undisputed Era need to at least keep those NXT tag titles until TakeOver Brooklyn 4. I think that would be a good time to move them on to either like the likes of TM61 or the Street Profits or Heavy Machinery, or even the War Raiders, if it goes that far as well. But that was a great, opening sequence as well for NXT. We had, of course, the first of the vignettes we had with the NXT champion Shayna Baszler as well, just talking about how the women's division's in big trouble with her being on top of it now, showing that she doesn't care. She's more just there for herself, and it's come across as just a bully that she's meant to come across and making everybody else feel intimidated and just act like she do whatever the heck she wants to. We get a recap also of what happened last week in the main event match between Candice LeRae and Zelina Vega, both their NXT in-ring debuts. Of course, Zelina Vega's only match in NXT because her and Andrade almost are going up to the main roster for SmackDown Live. And of course, Candice LeRae is going to be continuing down here as her and Johnny Gargano both have unfinished business as well down in NXT. And we get a vignette also for Bianca Belair also, as I definitely like what I saw from Bianca Belair in the Mae Young Classic. She's been using a lot of squash matches, definitely built her being strong. Of course, that hair whip, I just can't get over how deadly that hair whip sounds when she uses it. So I definitely think she's going to have a run the NXT Women's Championship. I'd say maybe by the end of the year, if not early next year, definitely. But she's definitely someone to look out for. And they advertise that next week we're going to be getting a match between Candice LeRae and Bianca Belair on next week's episode of NXT. So look forward to seeing, where that match takes either one of these upcoming stars as well. We then had a match. It was a rubber match between Heavy Machinery and the team of Riddick Moss and Sino Sabatelli. Wow, complete opposite there. Tino Sabatelli. How did I get those initials mixed up there? But yeah, the match. These two teams put on an all right match. It's not some of the best tag matches I've seen, but the storyline continues to be here. As there's been some tension between Riddick Moss and Tino Sabatelli. They're both like walking out on each other at times, and that's what the case that happened again in this match, where I think it was Moss was thrown into Sabatelli, and Sabatelli was knocked off the apron. And then when Moss goes tagging Tino just steps off the apron and walks out. So, it's kind of starting to get a little bit long here. Are we going to definitely, split them up? Or what do this? It's starting to feel like what it was whenever Blake and Murphy split up in NXT back in 2016. It was just like one week they were fine, next week, they were fighting each other. So we had our chance. It started to drag a little bit. This feels like it started to also, where we get to the next level with the storyline here. What's going on there? Is Tino Sabatelli and Riddick Moss going on their own separate ways? I see a lot of the Miz in Tino Sabatelli. I wouldn't mind. I think, I honestly, and my one friend Daniel Guys also teases too recently also that he felt that, team of Riddick Moss and Tino Sabatelli could have been, another Miz Taraj for the Miz eventually up on the main roster, which I do agree that is definitely the case. But yeah, so I definitely, want to see the storyline get somewhere else though besides having each other just walk out each other's match. Like let's get to the next level here, guys. Let's go for that. But yeah, so we had that happening there as well. Not bad of a match there. After the match, though, Heavy Machinery won the match with the Compactor. They get on the microphone and they call out the recently debuting War Raiders also. So that we're probably going to see that match, Heavy Machinery and War Raiders, Hanson and Rowe, sometime soon as well on an episode of NXT, which should be a pretty good match. I'd say Heavy Machinery's definitely come a long way. Then we also had vignettes again for Nikki Cross, Aaliyah, and Kairi Sane. Man, I've got to say that Aaliyah. Woo! Throwing some humor there. But yeah, definitely upcoming stars as well. Nikki Cross. I feel like if anybody should definitely get the next run at Shayna Baszler, because I want to see Dakota Kai eventually be the one, based off of the history that her and Shayna Baszler have. I want to see her be the one to build up to eventually dethrone Shayna Baszler. But I think a good, reasonable, more established women's wrestler to feud with Shayna Baszler right now for Taylor Chicago 2 is definitely Nikki Cross, I'd say. So I hope she gets the next shot. And again, Aaliyah, who's been she's been seen around here and there in NXT past couple years since I started watching. I think it's time we start giving her a little bit more of a chance also than just constantly just jobbing everybody else. And then there was also a Kairi Sane, which I wouldn't mind, even she's also on a level where her and Shayna have a match for the women's championship or something like that, but the match is not as fresh because that's the match we saw for a championship match in the Mae Young Classic. But again, it's nothing wrong with it. It can still happen, I feel, in my opinion. So yeah, so that's where there was those vignettes we had there. And then, yeah, speaking of Dakota Kai, we had her being interviewed, and she pretty much just traumatized and doesn't really want to really talk about, what's been happening with Shayna Baszler constantly bullying her, especially, that first match that the both of them had in NXT, wherever Baszler did that vicious, cringe-worthy looking stomp. Like, it looked like she really did almost break Dakota Kai's arm. It was that cringe-worthy to watch. Like, I was like, ooh, again, whenever that happened. So, and of course, she's just traumatized when we talk about it. She's just like, she's terrified of her. And Shayna comes up again, just talks trash as usual on Dakota. So again, like the history is there, but I feel like it would be too soon to have the match. I feel like you gotta give it more time, have Dakota be built up, to take it a little bit more seriously, definitely to before that match happens. Which I still think Survivor Series weekend, take over LA, take over War Games 2, whatever they're gonna be called it. I've heard rumors that they may bring back War Games again, Survivor Series weekend. So maybe that's will be the case there. But yeah, so we had that interview as well. Then we had a vignette for the re-debuting Kona Reeves, the finest Kona Reeves. So we see him next week also as well. And we had the last of the vignettes with Lacey Evans, Vanessa Bourne, and Candice LeRae also. So that's probably what round out the women's division. We also had advertised for next week, TM61 versus the Street Profits, and Roderick Strong versus Pete Dunne. Not a title match, though, so just two of them just going at it. And then we had our main event. Now, originally, it was supposed to be Aleister Black versus Johnny Gargano for the NXT Championship. But upon Gargano's arrival to the ring, Tommaso Ciampa, we haven't seen him since Gargano beat him at TakeOver New Orleans, come out of nowhere and start brutally attacking his former best friend. He had some weird, he was wearing a Johnny Wrestling shirt, and he also had some weird looking like eye patch. I'm not sure if it's just from getting, the face mask pulled on his face to, the knee brace pulled on his face to end the match at TakeOver New Orleans, but he was beating down on Johnny. Johnny, though, eventually got the upper hand for a little bit on Tommaso, but then Tommaso turned the tables and hit him with the running knee strike, and then he did like that white noise similar move, the same move he did through the tables at a TakeOver Chicago 1 last year. He did it again. So Johnny was being stretched out. And while being stretched out, we see Aleister Black walk around the corner with the NXT Championship, seeing that the competition he definitely wanted to give the opportunity to get taken away. He starts heading to the ring, and then as the paramedics driving away, we see Tommaso Ciampa stand on top of a trailer going like the same wave he gave when Johnny lost his career versus title match a few months ago also. So that was just epic to see as well. So Aleister Black storms out to the ring, and he pretty much gets on the mic trying to call out Tommaso Ciampa for what he just did, but then Sandy makes their way out. And not much interference really from them at all from the match that happened, but Eric Young basically came out there and just pretty much just was beating around the bush saying how he wanted to get a title opportunity. So Aleister Black's like, let's do this, which I thought, okay, cool, because I've thought that a good feud definitely for Aleister Black could have been a feud with Eric Young with their dark characters and whatnot. I definitely could have gotten invested in a feud like that. They had a pretty good match, I thought. It wasn't really too long of a match. Not much outside interference from Killian Dane or Alexander Wolf. But eventually, Black does defeat Young to retain, and afterwards, Wolf and Dane do come into the ring, and Black masks them both down, and that's how we go off the air. So I think it was a pretty strong episode of NXT. I like the vignettes. I like the match with Black and Young. I like the beatdown between Gargano and Ciampa. And most of the other stuff going on there. So I thought it was a great show this week. I guess this week's episode of NXT, a B+. What are your thoughts this week's episode of NXT? Leave thoughts down in the comment section below. And be sure to always click buy, like, and subscribe for more content on this channel. Follow me on Twitter at DemandAir93. Again, make sure you check out my reviews from SmackDown and 205 Live. I've got those uploaded, but again, with my bad internet connections out here, I'm recording these live, and then I said this is probably the last time you'll hear from me until I get home next week, which I will do my live reviews of Raw and SmackDown as soon as I get home late on Tuesday night. And if not, then definitely Wednesday morning, definitely to catch up on that. So we'll be back on track next week, guys. Hopefully another special live stream next week. So guys, again, thanks for being patient with me. Again, I've just been enjoying myself on this vacation. Shout out to my sister for making things awesome so far. So that's it, guys. I am checking out. And until then, guys, I'll see you all later. Peace out, everybody.